LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Nice of you to join us. The second round of the playoffs begin today. Todd Bailing in beautiful Linden Station, Wisconsin, joined by my three partners who are all within shouting distance of the Mississippi River. The Minnesota Twins, Brian and Dan, are somewhere in southern Minnesota for some reason, huh?
Eastern Minnesota, kind of eastern. We're in Owatonna, Minnesota.
Oh.
If you're a dirt late model fan, you probably think, I've heard that before. Correct. Gopher 50 used to be run here in Owatonna, but we're not here to watch a race in Owatonna. We were half hour up the road in Elko, Minnesota for the last night's ASA Midwest Tour event, which was the first time we both were at that facility. And I must say, everybody told us we're going to love it, and I agree. That is probably one of the best short tracks I've ever seen, an asphalt short track. I mean, right, Dan, in the racing there is incredible as well.
Yeah, I agree. A nice facility, a great facility, and the racing here is outstanding. At that progressive banking, they got it figured out right, where you can have two lanes and really race good. It's kind of like a smaller IRP, and I think it's a little better than IRP because that inside lane can pass, and you can run the outside and get by somebody.
Yeah, I kind of also compare it to maybe like the old Irwindale, you know, with the big grandstand and just a little smaller version of it. But, what a racetrack. I mean, 3 wide, not a whole lot of bumping and banging if you don't need to because there's plenty of room, and, yeah, outstanding racing. This is definitely a hidden jewel up here in Minnesota.
And, of course, PJ Noodleman over in Trempealeau, Wisconsin, just on the other side of the Mississippi. Hi, PJ.
Hi. Are you guys going to stop at the Spam Museum on your way home?
Spam Museum? Where's that?
Spam.
It's over in that area.
Oh, no, we're
Does
not.
it have to do with junk mail on your computer or some kind of meat product?
It's the meat product, Hormel.
No, I didn't like that. Kid.
Proud sponsor of Lake Speed.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the good old days. Well, we're getting ready to race at a flat 1 mile, New Hampshire, just a little bit over a 1 mile track. It is the fourth race of the playoffs of 10. The race is on USA Channel today. If you don't get cable or satellite, you're SOL, as they say. It is a green flag at just a little after 1 o'clock our time, which means what a day we have. The Packers are at noon. The race starts at 1, and the Brewers, who are magic number 1 winning the division, all start at the same time, or at least they're at 1 o'clock. That will start same time as the race. So, wow, that's quite the day. This is why you have more than one TV and picture and watching on your laptop. If you've got nothing, or driving home from Minnesota, you could be doing that too, and pushing buttons on
radio
your,
to the rescue,
on your radio.
Try to find stations.
There you go. Joey Logano, who gets himself into the playoffs and then kind of regroups until the playoffs begin, and then suddenly wakes up and wins championships. We'll start from the pole today, 130.622 miles an hour. He went around there at 29.159 on a 1 mile track. And it really was a Penske show at the front of the field. Logano starts from the pole, Blaney from the outside, and Josh Berry in the 21 car starts third. The playoff drivers will start, let's see, first, second, fourth, fifth, eighth, ninth, and then 14 and on back until you get all the way to 27th place where Chase Elliott qualified today. What the hell is going on there? Remember when he was really something else? We kind of fell off the map a little bit. You know, I'm not the only one that noticed it was about the time he hurt himself snowboarding, isn't it? I mean, after that, he's just never seemed to have been the same. The segments will be at lap 70 and 185. It's a 301 lap race today. and perfect weather, 60s and 0% chance of rain. So we're going to get a race in at New Hampshire today. It's up there in New England. Boston is the nearest civilization you got to this track. And so it's head-to-head with the beloved New England Patriots today, which aren't as beloved as they used to be. If at any time during this program you feel like calling us and having a opinion that you'd like to share with us, you can do so at 414-421-7901, and we'd love to hear from you. Any of that sort of thing is welcome over here, even if your opinions are wrong. That's how that works. This is the time of year where we're in the playoffs. We've got this kind of cloud hanging over the sport right now. We all know it. It's coming after the season. It's going to be the lawsuit. We're going to figure out the direction that NASCAR will be going in for the foreseeable future, and that includes whether or not we are going to completely scrap the charter system that we have now. It was a temporary thing that NASCAR came up with. It's all NASCAR's sandbox. They made the rules. Everybody's playing in their sandbox and by their rules. And then you get that kid down the block that just doesn't want to play by the rules, and he's going to make trouble. And that's well, the good news, we got Michael Jordan as one of our team owners, one of the greats of all time. The bad news is he's suing NASCAR, and it could upend the entire sport. So when I say that, I mean it because there's so much news about charters lately. You'll remember recently there was this another little lawsuit that was going on, or a threatened lawsuit or legal action. The lawyers got woken up and got the paychecks going again. It had to do with Rick Ware Racing and Legacy, which is, of course, Jimmy Johnson's team. They apparently did a verbal agreement to sell a charter. At the same time, it was supposed to be leased. Dan, this is already sneaking out of my pay grade here. Rick Ware was the one that's leasing the charter to number 60 for Roush freaking Keselowski Racing, correct?
Yeah, that's what the deal was this year. Rick Ware had two charters. They ran the 51 and the old 15 car. They leased the one that was on the 15 car to Roush Fenway to run the 60 this year. Now in the meantime, they apparently had this agreement with Legacy Motorsports to sell a charter for next year. What they thought was, Rick Ware contended it was in 27. Legacy Motorsports said, no, we were talking 26. So, that's why we went to court to sue it. Well, now they apparently had a settlement on that. They kept everything confidential. So we were trying to figure out how this worked out, because Rick Ware says, I'm going to run the 51 car next year as a chartered car. And Roush Fenway says, we're going to lease a charter. Now, you can't lease the same one, so they were going to lease that 51 charter, which meant Rick Ware was going to run the 15 charter. Well, then where's the one that's going to go to Legacy coming from? That's, it doesn't make sense. 1 + 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 3. So that's what everybody's trying to figure out what happened here. The guessing is that they probably agreed to 27. It's probably too late in the game to start a team for 2026 for Legacy. So one of Rick Ware's charters is probably going to go to Legacy Motorsports in 2027. Now, what that means for the Roush group and that 60 car, I don't know. Do they keep leasing one from Legacy now, which wouldn't make sense because that's Toyota and Ford, or does Rick Ware, just be gone in 27?
And Rick Ware would probably do himself, depending on the results of the 2311 lawsuit there. So there's this, like I said, there's this cloud over everything. Yeah, we can fight over charters if there are charters that'll even be in play next year.
And I'm guessing that deal for TJ Boucher to buy the whole thing is probably out the window now, too, because that was in the middle of that.
Now, he'll probably sue, too, and say, hey, you agreed to sell that to me. Well, what are we actually selling? Let's hope there's something to sell. I still believe and hope that somehow the lawyers can have a little martini someday and come up with a settlement so we can make this whole thing go away. Just give them a little more money and everybody will be happy, right? I hope so. We're going to take a break and be right back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Now they count.
Steps up, quarterback draw. He's to the end zone. Touchdown! Jordan Love calls his own number.
The Packers kick off the season Sunday against the Lions.
He looks, he's hit. He's sacked. Jared Goff goes down, back inside the 20-yard line.
Doug Russell is live from Lambeau with the Potawatomi Sportsbook Bet Above the Rest pregame show at 11. Kickoff at 3:25 on your home for the Packers. 97.3 The Game.
Welcome back to LTN. Happy New Hampshire Day. Is that a thing? Probably not. If you'll remember, a little while back, there was a thing about Roush Fenway Keselowski racing when Steve Newmark quit, moved on to the University of North Carolina. Going to be some kind of I don't know, what the hell is he doing over there? Anyways, I don't think he's an athletic director. I don't think he knows enough about athletics to do that. But he did go and left the team, and there was some talk that perhaps the president, that was the president of Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. You think about that. Newmark left, and it was like, who's going to replace him? And there were some people in some circles that thought that Keselowski would possibly take over as president himself, get out of the 6 car, and someone else would go into the 6 and all that, blah, blah. Well, it turns out it's not like that. Keselowski, first of all, the president, his job at that place, probably at all these places, but the president of the company, his job is to find sponsors. Now that sounds like a very odd thing for a president to have to do. It seems like a president would hire a guy for that, but no, this guy, Chip Bowers, was hired. Now you say to yourself, Chip Bowers, have I ever heard it before? Probably not. He has a resume, as you might imagine. He was the chief marketing officer for the Golden State Warriors of the NBA. He was the president of business operations for the Miami Marlins. Both of those things. Does that ring a bell? They find sponsors. That's what they do. And most recently, he was the president of sports, of a agency that did sports and entertainment. The name of the company was Elevate. So they found this guy. Are you going to be able to find us sponsors? Oh, hell yeah. Well, then you're hired. So Chip Bowers is the new president of RFK Racing, which means that Keselowski is going to stay a driver. He wants to win. I don't blame him. He's been close. He's knocking on the door. It would really complete a pretty amazing comeback. You think about how Roush was on top of the world, and they kind of worked themselves downhill for a while, and it was in great disarray. Nobody really wanted to be there. Guys were leaving left and right. Roush was unhappy as anybody could be. In the meantime, he's getting old. Things aren't getting better. Keselowski comes to him and says, I would like to, I guess you buy your way into a deal like that, right? Unless you're Tony Stewart. But, he somehow bought his way in and became one of the three principals over at RFK. And he wants to win races. He's getting close. It's been a pretty amazing turnaround, I think, that they're in the, they're competitive every week, let's put it that way, and sometimes more competitive than others. We've seen where old BK has come pretty damn close to winning a race himself, and boy, does he get frustrated when he thinks he's got a shot and doesn't. Hey, I don't blame him. It's been an interesting story. How old do we think, and I don't have the number in front of me, Keselowski's got to be early 40s, I would think, right? Does that make sense? Right around that, I guess that number. So, well, he's right at the point where it's almost time to hang it up and move on to the next phase, which is where he's at. He has positioned himself well, and he wants to win yet, and I don't blame him. And so we'll keep an eye on that whole thing. Chip Bowers is the new guy over there, and speaking of guys that used to be good race car drivers and then retired, we thought, and are coming back for a swan song, Casey Mears. How many races did he win, Dan? One or two? I forget.
Just one, and I was there. I saw it happen. It was the Coke 600. I seen it, and the funny story about that is I went with one of the guys I work with at the other job at the police department. He'd never been to a race before, and we were there at Charlotte earlier that week. We were in McAllister's Deli, and Casey Mears walked in, and I said, "Hey, that's the guy that's going to drive in a race this weekend." He's like, "How come nobody's bothering him?" I said, "Because he doesn't win." And then he went out and won that race that weekend on Sunday night.
Yeah, if he won races, there'd be a lot of people coming, "Hey, aren't you Casey Mears?" He's going to compete in the last three races. Car number 66, which means it's backmarker news, basically. But probably we'll all be there to see Casey Mears' last race. Of course, they thought he's been gone for about 7-8 years, hasn't he?
Oh, it's been a while, yeah. The 66 is Carl Long's vehicle, so.
Oh, my gosh.
Josh Bilicki's driven it a bunch of times this year. He made that Chicago race with it. That was kind of a really, really big deal for them, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, well, Casey Mears wants to come back and just drive around at the back of the field and wave to his fans and sign autographs and be happy with that, I guess, which is what you do with these backmarker cars. But he's coming back. We're going to see Casey Mears again this year. The other newsworthy item to come out of that last couple of races of the year, remember when going to the Waldorf Astoria in New York City was a really big deal, nationally televised, tuxedos, everybody came up and did a speech in the top 10. You had the crews up in the balcony all hooting and hollering, and pictures out on in front of the place in Times Square, and gosh, those were the good old days. Get this. This year's NASCAR Awards banquet is going to be on a Tuesday night after the Phoenix race. It's going to be at an undisclosed location in Scottsdale, Arizona, which means the final four only are going to be invited to this thing in Scottsdale, which means they all have to hang out for 2 more days. I just can't believe how that has gone from a absolute must-see black tie event to an undisclosed location in Scottsdale after the Phoenix race. You can't leave.
It might even be televised. Maybe we're going to watch it. Maybe I'll have to watch it online or something like that. Why don't we just meet in court in another month? Because that's where we have to be anyways, and have the banquet there. I mean, it seems, has there ever been a bigger disconnect between the teams in NASCAR? This is kind of like what shows it, that your championship should be a huge deal, and it's just going to be kind of poo-pooed off and go.
And I wonder if it didn't have anything to do with TV. The fact that TV last year we couldn't see it at all. It was like delayed, and years ago it was on live. And maybe TV just says we don't want to do nothing with it anymore, which means they have no money to put towards the banquet because I'm sure TV had to pay them something. So NASCAR goes, the heck with it. If nobody's going to pay for it, we're not going to have a big event anymore.
How would you like to be the guy that finished fifth in the points that isn't even invited to the damn banquet?
Probably happy. Gets to go home.
Probably. Unbelievable. How far the mighty have fallen. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Rush on, tight pocket. There we go. Set. There you go. There's the pressure they've been waiting for. Edger and Cooper.
Cairo Santos for the game. Here's the snap. Placement made. The kick is blocked.
It is blocked. It is blocked. And the Packers have won. Beautiful.
The home of your Green Bay Packers and the flagship of the Packers Radio Network.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
97.3 The Game.
Well, it's always been the most fun over the years, especially when this program started some 41 seasons ago, that we love to talk about the silly season. That used to be a big deal. From the middle of summer, you had guys that were, it was all rumors. That we didn't have a J-Ski site where you can look up and see when a guy's contract ends with a certain car owner or any of that sort of thing. It was all stuff that was talked about, and I didn't even know if a lot of teams they had handshake deals. And, that's, of course, changed with the overabundance of lawyers we have in this country. But this is pretty good right now, what's happening with this silly season, because you have a situation that has kind of come up. First of all, that cloud I talked about earlier that's kind of hanging over the sport will affect lots of different things, including the silly season. And which drivers might be moving to which teams. That's all very much in the air because we don't really know if they're going to have the charter system like we have now. One thing we kind of knew is that Tyler Reddick, his contract with 2311 states that he has to be in a car that has a charter. Okay, now, obviously, they are operating without a charter right now, which means it's coming out of Michael Jordan's pocket, who's lost more money in a casino. It's not a big deal. Okay, well, what would be a big deal, though, is if Tyler Reddick became a free agent. Now, there's nowhere for him to go right now. And by the end of the season, If that whole thing blows up, that might change everything also. But, when you have a situation where we are, let's just say that Rick Hendrick, who has been known to not have a great deal of patience with teams that don't produce, and let's face facts, Alex Bowman is an underachiever over there right now. He has got rid of guys who have done better than Alex Bowman has. So the question would be, now we all know Bowman is a definite Hendrick kind of a guy. Intelligent, likable, clean cut, the whole business. He's a Hendrick guy, except for one thing. Hendrick guys win lots of races. And even though not as many cars win as many races as they did before for Hendrick, we have a situation where Alex Bowman might be on the hot seat. The question is, and I'm going to throw it out to my teammates here, would this be the time? Because Tyler Reddick not being under contract right now, he's a free agent in that 45 car. Should Hendrick just swoop in and say, Reddick, we want you to drive the 48 car next year no matter what, and he could sign it, and I don't think it would be against anything that the lawyers could sharpen their claws on.
If I was Rick Hendrick, I'd absolutely do that for sure. But I mean, is there red tape in that clause because the court isn't until December? I mean, how does that work? Does that get, Dan, that's got to be a sticky situation. You can't think they're not thinking about it.
Of course it is. It's happened in the past a lot of times. Remember when Tyler Reddick went over to that 45 car? He drove the 8 car for Childress, and suddenly he popped up on Denny Hamlin's podcast and said, hey, I guess I'm going to go 2 years from now in 2022, and in 24 he was in the 45 car, and they forced Childers to let him go early because it was a sense of keeping the guys who want to be there. Hendrick's done it. Remember back when Dale Jr. was looking for a place to go? There's no room at the inn, Rick said. And suddenly we made room at the inn. We kicked Kyle Busch out, and suddenly here comes Dale Jr. So it has happened in the past. It may be a little stickier with the lawyers and stuff, but we got all kinds of lawsuits now. What's one more? Sometimes the way things work like that is there's a lot of behind-the-scenes things that we don't really see. Right, PJ? You kind of have a little bit of idea about that there's so much stuff that has to get tied in before we can announce somebody. But I bet you it's going on in the background.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. So you all just have to be patient, but it is fun to speculate.
It is. Really, look at it. I would rather have Tyler Reddick in the car myself. But it's not like Bowman is some sort of slug either. He has shown flashes of brilliance. Perhaps there is a chemistry problem over there. Perhaps he's not as good as everybody thought he was. Maybe anybody could win a couple of races for Hendrick. There's all these things. But putting Tyler Reddick in one of those Hendrick cars, it seems to me, would be an upgrade of a driver. Now, that's just my opinion. How my teammates on this? You think that would be?
Oh, what, for the 45 car?
Yeah, for Reddick to move over to the 48. Do you think it would be a definite upgrade?
Right now it probably was team-wise. That 45 team was really strong last year, and they were really on their game until they got to the championship 4, and they seemed to be overmatched. And ever since that time, they really haven't been back on pace, it seems. But they've proven they could do it before if you just get back on the same page. I wonder if this lawsuit isn't something else that's kind of out there too, hanging over. And then once we get that resolved, I think he could go. I think Reddick is the key. I think he could win in any car. And so if he went to 48, yeah, he'd be better.
But on the flip side, if you look at 2311 as a whole, Bubba Wallace is running way better than he has before.
Yep.
And I think that's more between the ears maybe than the team's performance. But no, I would agree. I mean, if Reddick were to go over there, Reddick was a Chevy guy to start. I mean, that's where he was. He was with Junior Motorsports and the Xfinity stuff for a while. He ran for Childress in the Xfinity stuff for a while, so it'd be cool to have him come back to the Chevy camp, and I think he could produce it with that team. I mean, think about that team, the background of that team, the 48 car. That's probably the most iconic car in recent NASCAR history with all its championships, and now it just flounders around in the back and gets bumped in the first round of the playoffs. So if I'm Hendrick, definitely you got to do something there, you would think. If you just sit on your laurels again, I don't think anything's going to change.
And as we all know, Rick Hendrick didn't get where he's at by being overly patient and just keep a guy because he likes him. I think we'll like Reddick better if Reddick wins races. In the meantime,
and also think of his history too. Look at Kyle Larson. Remember, Ford wouldn't want him, so he swooped in and got him. go back to Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon was a Ford guy. Remember? And all of a sudden, we were at the Milwaukee Mile at an ASA race, and the big news came that Ralph Shaheen ran over the big news. Hey, Rick Hendrick is going to sign Jeff Gordon right out from Ford. So, I mean.
Yeah, it's happened before. In the meantime, there's some turmoil in the. I tell you what, we'll get to that. The Toyota folks. It's not just the fact that their team is suing NASCAR, but there's some driver movement that's kind of imminent there, the way I got it figured. We're happy you're tuned in on New Hampshire Day as the second round of the playoffs begin. We'll be back right after these.
The 2025 racing season at the Fair Park in Plymouth concludes this Saturday with the annual Wisconsin Sprint Car Championships featuring the IRA 410 Sprints, the Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA 360s, Wisconsin Wingless Sprints, and Lightning Sprints. Championships to be crowned in all divisions. One final time to watch these stars and cars compete locally. On-track action at 5 o'clock. We'll see you there.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Anthony Edwards. You know, when you're drafted that high, it's like, okay, we want to see what you have. Anthony Edwards is 23. So you got to be fair to the timeline here. Because we were looking for the next Jordan for how long? Well, we're still looking for the next Jordan. Anthony Edwards, he reminds me of Jordan. No, not me. Not yet.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays at 8 a.m. on Fox Sports 920.
Yeah, the other side of that is Toyota has a situation on their hands, not only, of course, with the lawsuit, but we have to find places for drivers that are in their pipeline. And as most of these pipelines go, you know, it's very limited. There's no room at the inn at this point. And we've got a truck champion, maybe not champion yet, but a guy that's winning all the damn races in the truck series, in Corey Heim, who's a can't-miss cup driver. He's in the pipeline for Toyota, and they've got to find a place for him. There are a couple of possibilities out there. One of them might be, and it's just conjecture, Riley Herbst in that 35 car has not exactly done very much, but I guess he does bring money, which is important. And I don't know how much money Corey Heim has, but who would you really rather have driving for you? A guy that can win or a guy that can, pay for his ride? There are a couple of possibilities out there, right, guys?
I mean, that's been the perennial argument. Do you put talent in or do you put money into your ride? And I think that's kind of been the cancer that's eaten away at our sport.
Question is, does Corey Heim need to go to the Cup Series right away? I mean, do we have to anoint him the next best thing because all he's done is run trucks? Right, Dan? I mean, really?
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to translate to he's done decent in a Cup ride. He had a really good race at Bristol in that third 2311 car. I'm really surprised the next progression was always trucks, Xfinity, and then Cup. I'm really surprised that he wouldn't go to a Joe Gibbs Racing Xfinity car. I realize he probably doesn't bring the money that some of those other kids that are in those cars do, but why not? And then if the natural progression would be, I would put him in that Xfinity car for Gibbs, and when Hamlin supposedly retires after 27, well, there's your driver for the 11 car. I mean, if you worked it out that way, like it used to be. Now, is Corey Heim that patient? He's been pretty patient already. Maybe if another opportunity came by to jump to the Cup Series, you got to do it. But you got to pick a ride that you can't. You got to get in a competitive ride. If you kind of pigeonhole yourself into non-competitive rides, you never get out of that aura.
And with Connor Zilic moving up next year, the Xfinity Series is wide open. So Corey Heim could hop over there and dominate that like Zilic is doing this year. I mean, that would make the most sense instead of just. But everybody wants to get to the Cup Series right away. There's no wait anymore, and that's society as a whole.
And it's funny you say they're all Toyotas, but apparently the all Toyotas don't really work together or something. Like they're still kind of separate.
Something just crept up on me here. Corey Heim has been so unbelievably great in the Truck Series this year. And he's going to be a shoo-in to the Final Four, obviously. And I'm just going ahead of you just a little bit here, PJ, by saying yesterday in the Truck Series, Corey Heim won the race again. Ty Majeski advanced. He finished 5th, and he advanced to the next round. I'm telling you, I can see what's coming. Corey Heim is going to win everything until they get to Phoenix, where Ty is fantastic, and Ty Majeski is going to beat his ass and win another championship. And can you hear the whining? I can just imagine, there's something wrong with the system where you got a guy who wins all the races and doesn't win the championship.
That's the argument. Yeah, go ahead, PJ.
I was just going to say, and don't even rule out Lane Riggs, okay? I mean, that guy's been coming on really hot, too. So I think the thing that'll get Corey Heim, if he does not get the championship, is that they will be a little too overconfident. And that is what burns you.
And that's the argument with the playoff system. We have, of the 3 national tours, 2 of them are being absolutely dominated this year. And that's why there's been such a cry for a different point system, because ultimately, your champion might not be the guy who's the best car all year.
Now, wait a minute. Back in 2003, we had a guy win 8 races a year in the Cup Series, and then Wisconsin guy came in and finished consistently the whole year and won the championship, and we were mad, and we changed the points around. So, I mean, if we have a guy winning all the races and now another Wisconsin guy come back and they do the same thing they said was never going to happen at this system.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what happens. Everybody's going to complain.
Yeah, there's going to be the that goes with everything. In fact, this week, I believe I saw Keselowski come out and agree with Mark Martin that this system is flawed and we need to go back to a full season points like we had before. And here's a driver / car owner that's saying the same thing. And is there going to be any juice behind it? Well, what I said when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago is it's not exactly NASCAR's call anymore. I mean, obviously they're the ones that put out the thing, but it has to do with the television needs to compete with the NFL in the fall, and the only way to do that is to have some kind of a full playoffs so you can really put the emphasis on a couple of drivers, which just makes it hilarious when in the race itself, someone other than one of their precious playoff drivers wins the race. That just happens.
Did he make that many calls at the fundamentals of every other sport they cover? They don't tell, football will have 5 downs because we don't like 4. We want to give them another chance. They don't tell we should get, 6 strikes.
They may have pushed baseball for the extra playoffs, though. Because remember when I don't know what year it was, baseball had a whole bunch of extra games because there was all these ties. And was that 18? Maybe the Brewers might have been involved in that too. And then boom, all of a sudden we added it because they're like, that made for great TV. The win one in your in games or whatever. So they do a little bit, but I mean NASCAR just takes the bait because I think, as we see, they need the money and they need every dime TV gives them. Heck, we can't even, like I said, we can't have a banquet now because TV doesn't want to do it anymore. So I think NASCAR has so much more at stake with TV money than any of the other sports. The other sports kind of survive with what they got, but there's also way more of them.
But do they really need the money? I mean, we did see a little peek at the books there that they were ready to basically run the whole show without.
I
mean, I know money rules everything and it corrupts everything too, and I do think that's the problem.
you want to somehow compare it to stick and ball, like they say. It would be a little bit like the winningest team in all of baseball wouldn't win the World Series. Would there be?
That happens like every
about
year,
that?
doesn't it?
Pretty much does. I remember a football team going 16-0 and then losing in the Super Bowl. The Giants beat the Patriots that year.
And the Packers were the number one seed how many times and lost in the playoffs early on?
Dude, don't even start. I'm a Viking fan over here.
There is such a thing. Let's all gather around the Super Bowl trophies and have a little Hey, by the way, the Brewers' best record in all of baseball. Mm-hmm. If they don't win the World Series, well, I can just hear the crying. Right? That's how it works. We're gonna sneak away and come back with some results. Hang in there with us.
Gear up, race fans. From October 3rd to the 5th, Road America hosts the 61st running of the SCCA National Championship Runoff. Witness the nation's top SCCA racers go head-to-head on one of America's most iconic tracks in the ultimate battle for glory. The runoffs have over 50 years of history, showcasing the best in amateur road racing. Don't miss this high-octane showdown. Be a part of the action and experience the pinnacle of U.S. motorsport. Get tickets at www.roadamerica.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
This is The Herd. Wow, 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 wow. With Colin Cowherd.
You see these anonymous polls the NBA does. Well, the WNBA just did an anonymous poll, and the truth finally came out. Caitlin Clark voted on by general managers the best point guard, the best shooting guard, and the singular player they would start the franchise with.
This is The Herd. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at 11 on Fox Sports 920.
LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
As we get closer to fall, the amount of results starts to diminish. So a lot less this week than we normally had. We'll start Wednesday in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. The high limit sprint car series was there. Rico Abreu grabbed the win. Thursday night, Rossburg, Ohio, night number 1 at Eldora Speedway for the Four Crown Nationals. The USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series, Briggs Danner was your winner. The USAC National Midgets, Hayden Reinbold grabbed the win. Also Thursday night, Knoxville, Iowa, the annual Lucas Oil Late Model Nationals at the Knoxville Raceway. Preliminary feature night number 1 winner was Garrett Alberson. It was cut short due to rain. A very, very sticky, heavy down track. If you saw any of the results from there, they wrecked a lot of stuff on that fast half mile on Thursday night. Friday night, Chilton, Gravity Park, their fall invitational, night number 1 for the modifieds. Marcus Hopner was your winner. Stock cars was Mark Hopner, and the Grand Nationals was J.J. Pagel. Night number 2 at Eldora Speedway for the Four Crown Nationals. The high limit sprint cars were the headliner. Aaron Reitzel was your winner. And in the 360 sprints, Dason Persley grabbed the win. Also Friday night in Brownstown, Illinois, the Mars Dirt Car Series Super Late Models Tanner English grabbed the win. Knoxville, Iowa, night number 2 of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Knoxville Nationals. Devin Moran grabbed the win there. Last night, Plymouth rained out for their Dirt Kings finale. Talk that they're going to rerun that race on October 4th, but it won't be a Dirt Kings race, but it would be all the same classes of cars. Still running for 2,000 win for the late models, so keep your eyes open on that.
So that means Dirt Kings are over as the champion now?
Yeah, I believe Mike Mullen is the winner of that series. Menominee's Big Punky Manor rained out the whole weekend there, unfortunate. That's a big event for the Red Cedar Speedway. Last night, Beaver Dam, the last call fall special. last race there, unless somebody buys that racetrack and continues it going. They finished it early this morning. The IMCA modified winner was Brandon Schmidt, and the IMCA stock cars went to Hot Rod Snellenberger. Night number 2 at Chilton Gravity Park for their fall invitational. The mods, Marcus Hopner won again. Stock cars was Brady Paulson, and the Grand Nationals was Jeff Richards. Jackson, Minnesota, the Jackson Nationals for the IRA Sprint Cars was supposed to be a 2-day show. Friday rained out, so they raced last night. Ryan Timms passed Austin McCarl as he blew his tire on the back straightaway to pick up the win. Scotty Thiel was there, had a strong second-place finish in that $12,000 win race. Magnolia, Mississippi, the Camcom Super Dirt Late Model Series, the Cotton Pickin' 100, $20,000 to win, went to Trey Mills. Knoxville last night, the final night of the Lucas Oil Late Model Nationals, $75,000 to win. Hudson O'Neill grabbed the win. He started 14th in that. Who says you can't pass on dirt? Picking up the win there. Rossburg, Ohio, the final night of the Four Crown Nationals. The High Limit Sprint Cars went to Rico Abreu. USAC Silver Crown Series went to Dason Pursley. USAC Amsoil National Sprint Cars went to Dason Pursley. And the USAC National Midgets went to Dason Pursley. Almost sounds like something Kyle Larson and Tony Stewart did back in the day, winning all those races.
And I hear that some guys from Wisconsin, BG Wood and his friend, went down there and bought a 50-50 ticket, and I guess the friend won, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that usually pays more than the feature there. And finally, the race for the weekend was in Tulare, California, the Thunderbolt Raceway for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, the Dennis Roth Classic, $83,000 to win, and David Gravel in a photo finish picked up the win in that feature. If you get a chance, look at the World of Outlaws on Twitter or now X, and you'll see highlights of that race. Pretty riveting race, and for that kind of money, that was pretty cool. That's everything for the week.
Your big dirt news this week, though, Rico Abreu is going to drive for Tony Stewart. They're going to combine their teams together, and they're going to run the High Limit Series next year.
Yep. So there'll be no 14 car from Tony Stewart Motorsports in the World of Outlaws next year.
And we'll have a World of Outlaw late model show next year, June 19th
news up
and
here.
20th.
141 Speedway over the Father's Day weekend, so it'd be the Friday, Saturday. $12,000 to win Friday night, $20,000 to win for the World of Outlaw late models on Saturday night at 141 in June. So mark your calendars for that. Big doings. It's been a while since we've had the late models here. Probably 2022, I want to say, or 2020.
Oh, they're in Wilmot this year.
Oh, yeah, down there, yeah. But up in our neck of the woods.
Wherever that is.
Yeah. Northeastern Wisconsin. So that is everything for this week.
All right, on to the asphalt side of things. Last Sunday at Raceway Park, the National Short Track Championship weekend. 602 late model winner was Adam Hansen. Super lates went to Gabe Summers. Friday night at Jefferson Speedway, the Wisconsin State Championship Round 1. Late model winner Clayton Story. Midwest Truck Series winner was Nicholas Van. Yesterday and last night.
PJ, that Dell thing, that was Ty Fredrickson. The transponder didn't work out, so my race pass had the second.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
He stunk it up. Ty stuck
He's
it
been
up.
stinking up a lot of things. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Yes, I watched that race. I guess I should have known that. Apologies. But let's see. Where was I at? ARCA Menard Series. We didn't talk about that. That was at Salem Speedway. Your winner was Brendan Butterbean Queen. JEG's CRA All-Star Tour was at Owasso Speedway in Michigan. The winner was Barrett Paul Hamas. Jefferson Speedway for the Wisconsin State Championship Round 2. Late model feature winner for the first one was Michael Bilderback in his Toby car. Late model feature winner number 2, Jason Erickson in his Toby car. Erickson also was the overall champion for the late models. The Midwest Truck were running again. And Eugene Gregorich III picked up the win in his Toby truck. The overall champion was Grant Griesbach. Another championship for Griesbach. The ASA Midwest Tour at Elko Speedway, Ty Fredrickson continues his domination. He picked up that win. Pretty important for him and his family up there. It was in honor of Dan Ryan, who lost his life to ALS, and that was a pretty emotional win for that whole family. And then the late model winner was Jacob Gady, who, Dan, I'll get to you to let you kind of share that. But he ended up picking up the national championship then with that win. So congrats to him. But it was a wreck on it came across the checkers.
Yeah, it was quite a race. And who was in that 9 car? Was it Tim Anderson? Okay, yeah, and they were side by side for a good 15 laps and battling for the win. And because the guy that Gady was going against out east had a bad night, they figured if he won this feature race and he had enough points to win the national championship, he pretty much had a lot on the line. And I think if he would have finished second, he still would have had that. And so people are like, boy, you're really going for this win and the national championship. He could have backed off, and neither of them did. And they were side by side coming off of turn 4. Anderson kind of slipped a little bit on the inside. Gady scored it ahead at the line and took the checkered flag, but they came together and they kind of crashed into turn 1. It was pretty spectacular. And, I guess he's going to be the national champion. We'll find out for sure on Monday when Daytona Beach does all the points calculations, but everybody with their calculators up here says Jacob Gady is going to win that.
Which is cool. That's his second one.
I was sitting next to Gady Spotter during the super late race, and he said the car really wasn't damaged. It's just the second race doesn't count for national points, so that's why he didn't run it, and he had to be in his super late to start in his spot, which he was the fast qualifier last night. So, but yeah, fortunately, it looked a lot worse, but he goes, it really wasn't a whole terrible amount of damage.
And PJ, that's his second one here. You got a lot of people around here that win national championships in that NASCAR deal, don't we?
Yeah, which is wild. You'd think more people would want to come race up here in the Midwest, but alas.
There you go.
Anyway, I know we got to go to break here, but I just want to real quick share that next Saturday, the Valley Star 300 will be at Martinsville Speedway. It's basically the Daytona 500 of late model stock cars. Ty Majeski will be running that for Chad Bryant Racing. Caden Quapple will be running for Dale Earnhardt Jr. 77 cars already entered for that one. It's a big one.
Outstanding. And by the way, last night's race from Elko was on Track TV. Dean Strom and Matt Votty, what a team. They did a fantastic job. Just thought I'd give them credit where credit is due. We're going to sneak away and come back with some, you're going to love this, IndyCar stuff. Hang in there.
Cheer up, race fans. From October 3rd to the 5th, Road America hosts the 61st running of the SCCA National Championship Runoff. Witness the nation's top SCCA racers go head-to-head on one of America's most iconic tracks in the ultimate battle for glory. The runoffs have over 50 years of history, showcasing the best in amateur road racing. Don't miss this high-octane showdown. Be a part of the action and experience the pinnacle of U.S. motorsport. Get tickets at www.roadamerica.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
The 2025 racing season at the Fair Park in Plymouth concludes this Saturday with the annual Wisconsin Sprint Car Championships featuring the IRA 410 Sprints, the Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA 360s, Wisconsin Wingless Sprints, and Lightning Sprints. Championships to be crowned in all divisions. One final time to watch these stars and cars compete locally. On-track action at 5 o'clock. We'll see you there.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Love waits for the snap, and here it is. Rushan has time, throws left side of the end zone. Catch made. Romeo Dobbs at the pylon. Touchdown, Green Bay. And he throws the football into the stands. To Richardson. Winds up deep down the right side into a gaggle of bodies. It's broken up and intercepted by the Packers.
The home of your Green Bay Packers and the flagship of the Packers Radio Network.
And there is your dagger.
97.3 The Game.
The IndyCar series, we never really understood how they weren't getting ratings and things weren't all that great for IndyCar. Well, they're going to get a little juice next year at the spring weekend, the March race in Phoenix. The Indy cars are going to be a support division. They're going to race on the same day as the Xfinity car. Of course, it'll be called the Riley Auto Parts cars, which is, the Busch cars. Okay, you got that? The Indy cars are going to race a doubleheader with them on Saturday before the Cup race. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. They used to fill that place up for Indy cars over the years, and now they're going to be a Saturday support race.
Yeah.
Can we believe it?
That might fill it up, and this is Fox is working with them, just like the week before when they're in St. Petersburg. The Truck Series will be a candidate there with them. IndyCar, their ratings didn't look good, but their ratings were way higher than they've been in years past. We have to remember that. Okay. This year was a big increase for them on their ratings category, yes. And the other big news, they're racing the Road America date is Sunday, June 21st. That's a big race around here, massive crowds. And Milwaukee gets 2 races again, like we did the year before. Saturday, August 29th and Sunday, August 30th, a doubleheader at the Milwaukee Mile.
Ooh.
Iowa does not have any anymore, so they had to have 2 ovals somewhere else. That's going to be a big
I'm
event.
guessing we got the race that was supposed to go to Mexico. They were trying to put them together in Mexico, didn't have it happen, so they're going to take that race. They had to run somewhere. The doubleheader worked here at the mile 2 years ago, so why not do it again?
And we had a huge crowd this year for that race, so fans support that event, and hopefully State Fair Park's going to have the whole big festivities. I mean, even Todd enjoyed it the year before.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, with the big festival going on in the back, and next year it's going to be the week before Labor Day weekend, so you don't have to worry about, hopefully kids aren't in school or any of that stuff yet. So let's pack it up. Let's make IndyCar want this to be a destination race, and I think we can do it.
And that's really cool, having a Saturday, Sunday doubleheader, I think.
I mean, and for people coming from out of the area, it really makes sense to come here. You can come here now and you're going to get to see 2 full races plus the Indy Next race. It just makes sense here. And the Milwaukee Mile has been a great venue for IndyCar, the 2 races they've been here. This past year's race was outstanding.
Yeah, the key to all that is having that fair area, and having the vendors buy into it and open their restaurants and bars in between where you can watch the races, and before the race or in between the qualifying and practice, go out there and hang out with everybody. Everybody I talked to this year from out of state, from Indianapolis or Chicago area, all thought that was the coolest thing. There's nothing they could do where they were from that had something similar.
Yep.
Very, very cool. All right. Another news quickly. Mark Garrow, the guy you've known as the voice of PRN. He's been the voice of the PRN broadcasts since Doug Rice retired last year, but he's been in this business for 40 years, and he announced he's going to pull a plug after this year. Congratulations. Think of the
voices of NASCAR now, and this is now going to be the 3rd year in a row. 2 years ago, Joe Moore, no longer with
MRN.
The guy who runs Berlin Raceway. Jeff Striegel, he retired. Then you had Doug Rice retired. Now you're going to have Mark Garrow retire. I mean, all of a sudden, boy, the voices that I grew up and we all grew up listening to NASCAR on, they're all going to be gone.
Welcome to old age, Brian.
I know.
Weren't you in a bar or something, Mark Garrow, in Atlanta or something, talking about syndicating a NASCAR show, and suddenly Winston Cup Today showed up, right?
Yep. I told him what my idea was, and the next thing you know, listen, we can't give ourselves too much credit for his idea. All right, we got a race today, New Hampshire. I'm going to have PJ start first because I already know who she's taking.
Ryan Blaney.
All right. Let's see. Brian, why don't you go next?
I'm going to just keep trying to jinx him. I'm taking Joey Logano.
Aha, Dano.
I think it's going to be a Penske car, and I can't take Joey Logano because I said he's going to get knocked out this round, and darn, if I took him, I'd be shooting myself in the foot. So I'm going with PJ. I'm a Ryan Blaney fan today.
All right, and I believe William Byron is going to flex the muscles and move on to the next round because I picked him to be the champion, and the rest of you all picked the same guy. In fact, 2 of you picked him today to win in Blaney. So, yeah, it's about time that William Byron started flexing the old Hendrick muscles there.
In Blaney, we trust.
Yeah, well, everybody likes Blaney. It's kind of.
You see last week at Bristol when his nephew got a hold of the radio?
That was hilarious.
It was pretty good. I saw it and I thought, did this happen on purpose or by accident or what is this? Because he did, in the video I saw, he didn't answer the kid, which, I don't know, did he talk to him?
He didn't want to encourage him to continue to talk.
That's probably a really good idea. All right, as we mentioned, USA is where you see it today. The green flag is at 105, and of course it's head-to-head with the Green Bay Packers and the Milwaukee Brewers. It's going to be a busy little day for everybody to sit around and watch our favorite sport for sure. Thanks so much for tuning in. And like we want everyone to remember, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer, our world-famous class of his own engineer is Matt Losey, and for all of us involved with the program, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.